Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by the garden today. We're going to go over my little Begonia Rex. So I grow her indoors in a little ceramic pot here. It's a glazed ceramic pot, and I recommend growing it in this because when I first brought it home last year, I had bought another one and I brought it home and I kept it in a plastic pot. I transplanted it, but I transplanted it into a plastic one and it didn't do so good. So I noticed that these do really well in a ceramic pot or a terracotta type pot. This is a terracotta without a glaze on it. It's nice and clay-like, and this is one with a glaze. So this is going to dry out a little bit slower than that terracotta pot, and it's going to dry out a lot faster than a plastic pot. So I noticed that these really like to dry out within like 4 or 5 days after watering. If not, they tend to rot out on you. So that happened to me last year, and I just wanted to do this little video for you guys on propagation and the care for her because they are really easy to care for and they're really fun to watch grow. As the sun comes in, my eastern facing exposure, she grows in there and she gets about 6 hours of direct sun a day. Now she's pulled back from that window about a good 2 to 3 feet because she doesn't like the heat that ends up coming off that windowsill. We get a lot of heat here in Central Florida, Zone 9B. So this little girl likes to be pulled away a little bit from that window. And I have all my other plants in front of her. And she gets about 6 hours of sun a day, and then she gets bright indirect light for the rest of the day. And you can see how evenly she's starting to grow. She's starting to get really big in this pot, and she's starting to take root really nicely. And you can see this side's a lot fuller because this side was the side facing the windowsill, so you want to rotate your house plants every couple of days or so. You can see how this side's really not that full because all her foliage is pushing this way towards that window where that sunlight is. The foliage is going to follow where the sunlight is. So you want to rotate your pots. This way you get even foliage all the way throughout your plant. She's getting so big. So I water her when that soil dries out completely all the way to the bottom, and then I just go ahead and water again. You just want to make sure she's all the way dry completely to the bottom, and I plant in half succulent soil or 25% succulent soil, and then the rest regular potting soil. I use either Miracle Grow or Burpee Organics or the Miracle Grow Organics. Either one is fine. Any potting soil is fine, but I do break it up with a little bit of succulent soil because I noticed that these like a lot of air around the roots, and I plant a lot of my stuff into succulent soil, a little bit of that, because it really helps to put aeration around the roots. And these guys propagate like crazy. They really love to propagate themselves. So you can either propagate them by little offshoots, like there's little offshoots in here. Sorry you guys can't see it because she's so bushy, but like each section you'll see she has sections in here, and each section you can take off with some roots that are in there, and then that's one of the way you can propagate them, by their little offsets. Another way you can propagate them is just by taking a leaf, a real healthy leaf up top or something close to the center, and then you want to pinch that leaf off, leave a good amount of that stem, and these propagate either in water or in soil. But I noticed that the soil method didn't work for me because I have to constantly keep that soil moist, and this is just a little bit easier for me to take care of and watch over because I do have so many plants that I take care of on a regular basis. Now I just put those little leaves in a glass jar like this, changing out the water maybe once every 2 to 3 days, and then eventually little plants will start growing out of the base here of the leaf, between the stem and that leaf point. And little plantlets are starting to grow on the little tip here as well. I don't know if you guys can see that, but little plants are starting to grow with some roots on there. So we'll actually have 2 sets of plants, one down here and one by the base. Now we have another little plantlet growing, as you can see right here. Check that out. See that little plant growing off the base of that leaf? It's right here. We got one leaf, and then we have a couple more that are just starting to come about right there. And that's where they pushed a plant out. But we also have plants growing in the water itself. These are underneath the water with roots. So we have plants on both sides, and that's going to be really cool because we're going to plant this together. I'm not sure how to plant these yet. I have to do some research because I never propagated these before in water. So I will get a video together for you guys, but you can see like we have little plants growing out of the base of this leaf here. There's so many plants on there, and we're just waiting on one right here. And this little container right here sits on my counter in my kitchen, and it gets the LED light. I leave my LED light on for about 8 hours a day, and it gets the LED light on the kitchen counter. It doesn't get any bright direct sunlight because it does tend to burn. I notice it'll burn that little baby up. So just bright indirect light for most of the day for this little guy. If you want, you can give him a like filtered light through the sun in the morning when that the sun's just starting to come up, because it's really, really light compared to the western exposure. When the sun's setting, it's a lot stronger. So if you are giving it any sunlight, make sure it's in the morning for just like an hour or two, and it's not getting any more than that. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you have any questions at all, I'm always here for you, and I'd love to help you in any way I can. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, I'll see you guys next time out in the garden with another video.